We'll now go to Sandra Kahu from the Canadian Alliance for Sex Work Law Reform.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sharing my time with Elen Lam, who will go first. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Elen Lam, Executive Director of Butterfly. We work with over 5,000 migrant sex workers in Canada. I am shocked that committee did not consult any migrant rights, racial justice, and sex workers who are directly impacted. Many scholars, violence against women, racial justice, and human rights organizations already show their opposition of this bill and show the concern that they are not having opportunity to tell you how this bill is harmful. The claim is that the bill will help charge traffickers and bring them to justice. It will not. As Sandra will explain, this bill will lead to more human trafficking charges laid against migrants, Black, racialized people, and sex workers, and those who are providing support service to others, and take away their livelihood, make them live in fear, drive them work even more underground. As the concern expressed by some of the committee members already, this bill do not differentiate sex work and human trafficking. It cannot differentiate whether people ask other person to organize the work or they are being forced or exploited. Both of them will be charged as trafficking no matter the nature of the relationship. It is wrong to assume all the third party are exploitation and human trafficking. Poor racialized migrant sex workers rely on community support to stay safe. They help each other to access transportation, food, medical care, translation, safe work environment. If Bill 224 pass, anyone helps sex workers stay safe, particularly Black and migrant will be charged as human trafficker. People are too afraid to associate with sex work, and that will make sex workers be more isolated and vulnerable. Advocates against sex work have long used anti-human trafficking campaign and policy to further their racist anti-migrant agenda. They promote moral panic, racial discrimination, and hate against sex industry. By calling for the criminalization of sex work and increased policing, the goal of anti-trafficking campaign often is not ending trafficking, but is ending sex industry. They do not protect sex workers, but ending sex work. You are all here today because you care about the rights and safety of vulnerable people. You should listen to the community. And many racialized Black migrant sex workers tell you, don't take away my agency. We cannot let Bill 224 pass. Bill 224 do not protect us, but put us into dangers. I give Sandra more, to explain more. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. My name is Sandra Kahu. I'm the co-executive director of the HIV Legal Network. I have two main points to add about Bill S-224. First, the removal of the threat to safety requirement will capture cases where no exploitation exists. Proponents of this bill describe difficulties obtaining direct evidence from a potential complainant. But the test today is already an objective one and does not require complainant's testimony. Removing this requirement merely gives more power to police and prosecutors to define, and often wrongly define, violence and exploitation for communities. In the case of sex work, violence and exploitation is assumed. For example, Professor Roots has documented how police pressure sex workers to take on the trafficking victim label, despite the rejection of this label. Without the threat to safety requirement, determinations of coercion or exploitation are made through biased perspectives of sex work. Second, as Elaine described, the amendments risk capturing all third parties in sex work, including those who provide supportive services to sex workers. Butterfly and the HI Legal Network have been consistently told by law enforcement that any third-party involvement with sex workers suggests exploitation that warrants investigation. But research has documented how police and prosecutors insist that pimping is a major problem, focusing their attention on young, poor racialized men, and particularly Black men, despite sex workers' more nuanced accounts of third parties as protectors and intimate partners. As Elaine mentioned, many sex workers also take on third-party roles, and migrant, Asian, and other racialized communities rely on family members and community for work support, but they are often swept up in anti-trafficking efforts. Butterfly members have been charged with third-party sex work offenses for merely assisting with client communication, scheduling, advertising, and screening. While the punishments for a third-party sex work conviction are already severe, third parties convicted of human trafficking are subject to a 4-year mandatory minimum sentence, which could result in the removal of status and deportation for those who are not Canadian citizens. If you truly wish to support people at risk of exploitation and abuse, you must listen to sex workers and reject Bill S-224 in its entirety, fully decriminalize sex work by removing all sex work-specific criminal offenses, remove immigration regulations that prohibit migrants from working in sex work, stop surveillance, raids, detention, and deportations of sex work, Sex workers support non-carceral forms of safety, such as decent work, healthcare and housing for all, and investing in grassroots communities so they can support each other. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank both of you, Ms. Lam and Ms. Kahu. Next, we'll go to our first round of questions for 6 minutes. And for those witnesses, I just want to let you know I do use cue cards. So when you're 30 seconds left in the time,